So I'm here today with Holly, who is a nutritional therapist and a Coombe Grove team leader. Do you want to just tell us a little bit about your background and how you came to be here?
Thank you. So I have a background in chefing. I was an executive chef for about 10 years. At the peak of my career, working in the wonderful watershed in Bristol.
Oh, lovely.
And we pioneered what we call the plot to plate ethos, which is very, very similar to the food ethos that we have here at Coombe Grove in our kitchen garden, and using seasonal, local foods that are organically grown.
Excellent. And I imagine, chefs say that it's quite an unhealthy lifestyle, so this must be completely different for you.
I think probably, this was after I left the watershed, but the following years continued working as an executive chef. The hours, the pressure, I always ate well. I was always a big believer in nutritious and good quality food, but the truth of the matter is that my own metabolic health started to suffer, and I made the decision that I didn't want to work in the catering industry anymore, and looked back in my life at what was most passionate to me, and nutrition, mindset. I used to love my sport and my movement, and so I started studying nutrition. I became a qualified meditation teacher. I became a Reiki master, and I also became a health coach as well, using NLP, linguistic programming.
So we brought that all together here, and today you're going to give us some really good ideas on how we can build really good nutrition. Because I think for a lot of people, they think it's going to be too hard to do.
Yeah.
So that thought of what am I going to eat in the evening, what can I put together that's quick and easy but is still healthy?
Of course, what I would like to do is to give you a little sort of snippet of some of the things we show people at Coombe Grove in the cooking demonstration itself, and what that focuses on is how to make food simple but delicious, nutritious, low carb, obviously, very, very important. We like to use technology where we can talk about that. Bulk batch cooking is one of my favourite things to do. And what I would like to do, if possible, is create some sample dishes that might represent some food throughout the day.
Perfect.
Okay.
Yes. So how we can build from the beginning of the day right the way through what we can eat. And just one of the things you said about making things really delicious, because I think people think, it's going to be bland or it's going to be tasteless.
Yeah.
But the one thing I found when I stayed here was that the food was fantastic.
Yeah. So, low carb doesn't have to be boring by any stretch of the imagination. There's some really good, inspiring, people out there leading different cooking. Our chefs, in-house chefs, as you know, cook some of the most amazing food. And what I'm doing is translating some of those ideas into how we can do it simply at home. And that's the word I want to really kind of use there, is sometimes actually simple can mean you're keeping lots of flavour, you're not overcooking the food, you're keeping the nutrients in. So hopefully, I'm going to show you some really simple things that you can do that are quick, that are easy, that fill up your fridge. And the other reason we want to fill up the fridge with all the good food is that when you have what I call a moment of deficit, when you're in that moment, oh my God, I need to eat, I'm really hungry, that you don't get home and just go for the wrong foods. You've actually got all the food that you need. And if you eat the right foods in the right way, and I know you want to talk about proteins and things as well, when you prioritise the right quantity of protein and the healthy fats, you don't get that craving, you don't get that need to eat.
No.
And you stabilise your blood glucose, you stabilise that spiking, and you stabilise the way that your metabolism works.
Because I found that I eat a lot. I only eat twice a day. I don't eat anything between meals because I don't need to. Because now I've learned what are the right things to eat. I don't get that mid-afternoon slump where you head for the biscuits. It just makes it worse, doesn't it?
Completely. And you've learned that from us, right? That's absolutely fabulous.
And so some of the things I think that you're going to share also are how we can make some of those swaps from the higher carbohydrates
100%.
because that was something I thought about a lot. How am I going to live without pasta and rice, which I happily do now.
Yeah.
But I'd love your take on
100%. So
what should we start with?
So what should we start with? It's a really good question. First of all, if I just introduce some of the bits and bobs that we've got. This is an instant pot pressure cooker, and particularly for winter months, I know we're moving into summer currently, but I would recommend buying a large cooking system, because this will make 5 litres worth of really good food. And starting prices on these kind of things, for a good quality one, can be about £80.
Okay.
But you can spend up to 160 to get the top of the end of the range. And the top of the end will do sous vide, it'll poach eggs, it'll do all sorts of other clever things. And at the end of the day, you could put the ingredients together, put it in the pot, switch it on, stick the lid on, walk away, come back, and it's cooked.
Yeah.
And you're not having to stand there monitoring, looking after it. So what actually happened to me when I was doing my nutritional qualifications is I put together these amazing nutritional plans, and 90% of the clients were women, and they would say to me, this is amazing, this is brilliant, but I go to work, I run a busy household, I have to pick the kids up, I have this to do, I have that to do. Where will I find the time to prepare all this food?
Because when you get home in the evening, you're tired and you just want to eat, don't you?
Completely. And you want things to be quick.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's when my brain started thinking, okay, how can I support people to follow my nutritional plans, but also be able to cook from home?
Yeah.
And it's that cooking from home that's so important, because you're suddenly moving away from processed food, which we know doesn't really contain any vitamins or minerals. It's just carb, ultra processed. It's rapid carbs heavy, it's sugar and salt heavy. And our main ethos with the food at Coombe Grove is to eat real whole food.
Yeah, there's not really many packets here, are there?
There's not many, and if they are, they're sort of in tins and what have you. So I'm going to kind of go on a bit of a chronological journey here.
Okay.
And the first thing I'm going to make is what we call Chia compote.
Okay.
Now, chia seeds have become really, really popular over time, and what we're focused on at Coombe Grove is trying to ensure that you get plenty of protein and plenty of healthy fats along with your vegetables.
Yes.
Low carb, low starch vegetables. Okay. So chia seeds, for instance, have got for a plant, for a seed, have got really good quantities of protein, good fibre, and just 2 teaspoons of these provide your daily requirement for omega-3 fats.
Wow. Now, I've never tried chia seeds, so this is going to be interesting.
Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm doing a small portion. So this is just 50 grams of chia seeds, and you can sort of scale this up. Okay. Now, it's taken me about 3 years to make chia seeds really appetizing to everybody, and I don't know anybody who doesn't enjoy this.
Excellent.
Okay. Now, what I use is some form of juice.
Right.
Now, normally, we would say that juice is a no-no. Because it's processed, it's got sugar in it, and because it's in a liquid form, it's absorbed up into the gut really quick, and it will get turned into glucose really, really fast.
Yeah.
But what we're doing here is, this is one of the first things that we always want to observe, is reading the label. Okay. So I've picked out a few different ideas. I've been always looking at the supermarket. What can you buy that's lower in the sugar carbs?
Yes.
Okay. So this is my preferred choice, which is James White Beat It.
Okay.
And it's a mixture of beetroot juice and ginger.
Mm.
And when I look on the back, it's actually suggesting that it's only 4.1 or 5.8. Actually, let's call it 5.8 grams of carbs per 100 grams.
Okay.
So it's actually really, really low.
Yeah.
And what we're going to do is we're only going to use about 300 ml.
So it's going to be tight.
300 ml of this, that's 15 grams of carbs. But what's also going to happen is that within the space of an hour, those chia seeds are going to soak up all of that juice, absorb that into the chia seed. It opens up the chia seed and makes it kind of a bit more gelatinous, but it opens up the availability of the fibre, the protein, and the omega-3s.
Okay.
So it sort of absorbs it up, and therefore it doesn't become a liquid anymore. It becomes much more of a solid. And what I want to do is add into this some mixed berries. And this could just be a really great way to start your day. Okay? Whatever time it is that you choose to break your fast, okay, especially if you're observing time restricted eating,
yeah,
this could just be a really nice, easy way of doing it. Okay. The thing with these berries is I've got black currants and red currants and raspberries, a few strawberries in there, and I've just bought the cheapest bag of mixed berries that are frozen from the supermarket.
okay.
They stay in your freezer. Chia seeds are easy to keep. Frozen berries
Doesn't have to be expensive.
doesn't have to be expensive. Doesn't have to go off in your fridge or anything. You can have it there to utilise at all times.
Okay.
What I do in my house is that we make enough for the whole week. That also brings me into, and we're going to do some toasted seeds in a minute and talk about yoghurt, is food combining.
Right.
Okay, because we're not just going to eat this on its own.
Okay.
We're going to put some really nice Greek yoghurt with it. We're going to put some nuts and seeds with it. And all of a sudden you've got vitamin and mineral-rich berries full of antioxidants that are really healthy for your body, really help to lower inflammation. You've got protein, you've got fats, and in the yogurt you've got your protein and your fat,
yeah,
and in your nuts and your seeds you've got your protein and your fat.
Okay, that's really interesting because I don't eat a lot of fruit anymore. I do occasionally have blueberries and I do occasionally have raspberries, but I've kind of avoided fruit a little bit.
Yeah.
So you're saying that because we're combining them with the protein
And the fats.
we're lessening the effect of the sugar?
Of how they're absorbed, definitely. So for instance, and we can come to this, we'll talk a bit about salads as well, for instance. As soon as you start combining certain foods together,
That smells good.
it smells good straight away, doesn't it? As soon as you start combining certain foods together, you change the way your metabolism works.
Right.
So it's quite a well-known fact at Coombe Grove that just eating 20 almonds 30 minutes before your meal will help balance your blood glucose spiking.
Okay.
Having something with some protein and some fat in it before you go on to have another meal, and that meal may have some carbs in it, will help lower that glucose spiking in your system.
So if I'm going to a birthday party and I want a piece of cake, I eat some nuts first?
Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And if you're going out for a meal in a restaurant or something like that, you have a salad, you have some nice cheese on that salad, you have vinaigrette, it's got oil in it, you have some nuts and seeds on top of that salad, and you've already built that precursor into your system to help you manage your blood glucose spike.
So this is why at Coombe Grove in the evenings, when we have our evening meal, we have a salad before we have the rest of the meal.
Yeah, exactly. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to make my beet juice in there, and beet juice again is just really well known for lots of different health benefits. It helps circulation as well. It increases what we call nitrous oxide synthase in the body, and that can be really useful. And what you can see is that the chia seeds are just starting to thicken up.
Yeah.
Okay, so they're absorbing up the liquid. They're just starting to thicken up.
Kind of going a little bit spongy.
And a little bit spongy.
Yeah.
So that's just sort of thickening up. I'm just going to add the berries in.
Because I think sometimes that's the thing, it's having the confidence to try things, isn't
Yeah.
it? If you're not a natural cook, or
Yeah.
it's not something you've really done very much of, you can look at a recipe and be a bit scared by it, or sometimes look at a recipe and say, oh, I don't like that ingredient, so you don't try the recipe rather than changing it for something else.
Yeah, and actually that's interesting that you say that I find there's always two types of cooks. People who feel they need to follow everything step by step.
Yeah.
And your other kind of cooks who say, oh, I looked at the recipe and I decided I didn't want that and I'm going to chuck a bit of it.
I'll try a bit of that.
And I would encourage people to do that.
Yeah.
You know, experiment, explore, because that's how you start becoming more of an instinctual cook as well. And what I do at home is I have bigger containers than this that are glass. But we'll make the mix, we'll tip it in the container, it goes in the fridge, and every morning, well I actually do it the night before, I load up what's for breakfast into my breakfast pot, and it's there just ready for me to take. But what I want to do next then is...
So this is a better alternative to your overnight oats then, because as we know, oats obviously spike your...
Yeah, 100%. Oats are unfortunately very rich in carbohydrates.
Yeah.
What I'd like to do next is show you, so all of these things are really versatile.
Yeah.
That's the other thing I want to show. So you could have that for breakfast with some yogurt and nuts. I'm going to show you how to turn it into an absolutely delicious dinner party dessert.
Ooh, nice. I do like my dinner parties, and that is something I always used to. I used to be the dessert queen, so having something that I could do as an alternative.
Yeah, and the idea is it's all versatile. So that can become a breakfast, it can become a dinner party dessert. I'm going to show you how to make an amazing chocolate dish as well. And same with the nuts and the seeds, because this is my favourite snack for when I'm really hungry. I've got a tin of these in my cupboard. Okay, that when I'm having one of those moments where I feel like I need to eat because I've been on the go, rather than pulling into a garage and buying a snack, I've got a tin of various nuts and seeds.
Okay. I have a bag of nuts, but I don't really eat seeds, so this would be interesting.
And what I want to show is if do you mind eating something, trying something? When you just eat them as they are, they're okay, right? They're okay. But as soon as you warm them up, you could do this in the oven, you could do it under the grill, and obviously for this purpose I'm going to do it in the pan. As soon as you warm them up, you're opening up the oil, you're giving it a little bit of flavour, and I'm just going to add the tiniest bit of good quality rock salt. Nice. And for me, a snack needs to be enjoyable.
Yeah.
It needs to be desirable.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to having that snack, you know. When I'm driving home, I've got a long drive, I'll have a few of these toasty nuts and seeds. So these are starting just to brown. I just do the big almonds quickly first, and you can see that they're browning up really quickly. Now, you can use almost any kind of nuts and seeds that you like. What I've got here is some pistachios, some pumpkin seeds, and throw some pine nuts as well. You could have, I've got almonds all in there already, you could have walnuts, cashews, it's pretty much what you fancy. And I'm just going to keep warming those through for a second. Virtually all nuts have a higher ratio of omega-6 fatty acid to 3. Okay, it's almost completely written across the board that they're going to be higher in omega-6. And in today's kind of world where people are eating a lot of ultra-processed food, it's the seed oil, the omega-6 oils that get put into that food, and the ratio in the body is out of balance.
Right.
So to counteract that, these also contain omega-3s, which is good.
Yeah.
Okay? To counteract that, I'm just going to put in some flax seeds as well.
Okay, so it's those omega-6 we want to reduce.
Yeah, you want to keep omega-6 in a balance.
Okay.
And it's another reason for stepping away from seed oils as well.
Yeah.
Because they're very high in omega-6.
Okay.
But variety of nuts and seeds has such a large range of different minerals, proteins and fats. You know, the list of the actual minerals themselves, the digestive enzymes in there, everything that's so healthy for the body is easily over 10.
These are flax seeds.
Exactly, which are really high in omega-3.
Okay.
And just helping provide
with that balance.
With the balance, exactly. So what's starting to happen now is you can hear them starting to
popping.
Exactly, and you can start to smell what's going on there as well. So I'm just going to add, you know, probably a reasonable, generous amount there of rock salt into that.
And instead of having your bag of crisps,
yes.
This is your alternative.
Yeah, completely. And we were talking about things being versatile.
Yeah.
So this could be a snack. I'm also recommending that you could put these on your breakfast.
Okay.
You could sprinkle them on your salad. Okay. Remember that a small portion of almonds or nuts and seeds before a carby meal can help you balance your blood glucose levels. And I'm also going to suggest that we use something like this for some pesto that I'm going to show you how to make.
Brilliant.
And again, you can start to see how versatile this is.
So having a store of those that you can just use a bit each day for different things, that's your time saving.
Completely.
Yeah.
You've done it once, and you don't need to do it again for the rest of the week.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Brilliant. And could you grind these up and use them as like, if you wanted to, instead of breadcrumbs, to coat something like fish or something like that? Would you
that's a
recommend
fabulous
that?
idea. That is a really fabulous idea. Yeah, make a crust.
Yes.
Yeah, completely.
Maybe with some olive oil?
Yeah, put any kind of, some herbs in there as well if you wanted to give it a bit of extra flavour.
Okay.
Add a bit of pepper, perhaps. And what I will now do is just put them somewhere, because they get incredibly hot.
Yes.
Okay, they get surprisingly hot, because all that oil and everything else is warmed up in there. And I would just spread them out, leave them to cool down, and then add them into a jar. Once they've cooled down, and they've got your supply of nuts and seeds.
Brilliant. That's what I'm definitely going to do, because the smell is lovely.
What I would like to do
is come home and cook dinner.
Now, this is a really simple recipe that I must give a nod to Emma Porter. So Emma Porter, also known as Mrs. P and the Low Carb Kitchen.
Yes, I follow her on Instagram.
Yeah.
I'll put her link in the description.
That would be great. And she was introducing me to her amazing chocolate coconut dish, which I'm going to show you today, but I'm going to sort of bring together with a few other bits and pieces at the same time. What we do is 1 tin of full fat coconut milk and 200 grams of chocolate buttons.
Are you sure that's 200 and it's not a bit too much?
It might be a little bit over. And what's important, it is actually a fraction over. What's important is that we're using a good quality chocolate.
Because it is good for you, isn't it?
It is good for you. And if you aim for 70%, cacao in that chocolate, then there's going to be much lower level of sugar. Okay, but I will always encourage, you could just go to the shops and buy a normal chocolate bar, it doesn't have to be cooking chocolate, but it's back to reading the label.
Yeah.
Labels are just so important because in this country you have to label the highest ingredients first. Okay, so if the first thing it says is sugar, you don't want that chocolate. If the first thing it says is chocolate, is cacao, then you know that that's the highest level of ingredients. And I always use a 70 to 80%. So that's what goes in there. That's going to melt. So I've got hot water as a bain-marie. That's just going to melt. And while that's melting up, exactly. What I'm going to do is I'm going to whisk up coconut milk. So, thickened coconut. 100% fat coconut milk, always comes out nice and solid. Look at that, that's beautiful quality. You get that little bit of running water coming out as well. So you want to take all of that out.
It's a great swap, isn't it?
It's a great swap. Really rich in fats. And you're just going to whisk that like that. And so it's really nice and smooth. Okay? Combining the watery liquid in with the fat. And you almost want to aerate it like that. So just whisking it really nice together. It's really smooth. You can add a little bit of aeration in there. And what you could do if you wanted to is add a few drops of vanilla as well, just to give it a slightly different flavour profile. That sits for a second. Our chocolate, we just want to be fully runny and warm. There we have beautifully runny dark chocolate, 70% plus chocolate there. Okay, so just going to pour that in. Now that's thickened up really beautifully. Now, so here we go. First of all, if you just want a little treat in your fridge, now how many is that going to make of small ramekins? 10, I reckon?
Yeah.
Okay, nothing wrong with just having a few of those in your fridge. Okay, so there we go. That was set quite firm. And then I'd encourage you to put a raspberry on top. Okay, there we go, thank you. So what I've done is I've just put some the set chia pudding. While the chocolate's still a bit runny, just going to pour that in to create a lovely topping there. There we go. And then you would pop that in the fridge. You then add some creme fraiche, some Greek yoghurt, depending on what your choice is. And then again, you might top that with a raspberry, a bit of chocolate drizzle, or some shaved chocolate.
Okay.
Or even, if you like, some of your nuts and seeds.
Let's pop that
Okay,
on
so we can pop that on there.
We've got our
Let that set in a bit. The other thing I'd like to show you then is we were talking about your brunch, about breaking your fast with a really nice, healthy meal. Here's my chia dessert. Add in some lovely thick Greek yoghurt, like that. Chia compote, lovely thick, real Greek yoghurt. And we just top that with a few nuts and seeds. And what a great way just to start your day. And you might follow that up with some nice eggs or something else after. But it's a really, really lovely way. And the fact is that you know you've got the chia compote in your fridge, you've got the yoghurt in your fridge, you've got your toasted seeds.
Yeah, it's easy.
All easy, ready to go.
So we've got chia seed and berry compote with Greek yoghurt and topped with nuts, our little chocolate and coconut milk mousse, and our delicious layered pudding that combines all three.
I'm looking forward to trying this because I've never had chia seeds before, so I'm interested to see what this is going to be like. That's really nice. It's kind of, it's just like a fruity compote, but you've got all those added benefits from the chia seeds. That's something I will definitely try. So that's your breakfasty brunch option. Swap this for your overnight oats. And the one I really want to try, guess, is our little chocolate pot. So this was the one that was made just with chocolate and coconut milk. And that is amazing. That is incredible. You would not know that that was coconut milk in there. You have to try this one. And so easy as well. Brilliant.
I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Yeah, this one I definitely will do at home. I'll tuck some of those into my fridge, definitely.
Yeah, and they'll keep it in your fridge for 5 days. Very, very low sugar, healthy fats in there. That chocolate gives you that little boost, that little treat that you're going to enjoy. And why not enjoy one of those after a meal?
Yeah, and dark chocolate is good for you as well, as long as you don't go over the top on it,
Definitely,
isn't it?
definitely, 100%.
Brilliant. Thank you.